welcome to the Irish Aesthete. Previously, I was explaining how Russborough in County Wicklow came to be commissioned and looking at the architecture of its exterior. Today we move indoors, and I want to talk a little bit more about the man responsible for commissioning the building, Joseph Leeson, son of a wealthy brewer. As already mentioned, Mr. Leeson, as he was until acquiring his first title in 1756, very much wanted to be regarded as a gentleman. And one thing almost all gentlemen did in the 18th century was to go on a grand tour across mainland Europe, concluding with time spent in the city of Rome. Now, most grand tours were undertaken when the participants were young men. It was an opportunity for them to refine their cultural palate and perhaps to spread some wild oats before they came home and settled down to a respectable married life. But Joseph Leeson wasn't a young man. He was aged 43 when he set off for the first time, had been married for some 14 years, and was the father of several children, so he didn't conform to the normal grand tourist type. However, in many respects, he followed the usual pattern because he had this smart new house to fill. So he bought whatever old master paintings he could, he commissioned copies of others, and he had himself painted by Pompeo Battoni. This commission shows great prescience on his part. He was one of the very first foreign visitors to Rome to patronize Battoni, who would go on to become the city's most fashionable portraitist. Before heading home, Joseph Leeson also placed orders for a number of other important pieces he wanted in his house. One of them is this scagliola tabletop, one of several which Joseph Leeson ordered from Pietro Belloni, a Benedictine monk in the Abbey of Vallombrosa outside Rome. Scagliola is a kind of plaster mixed with animal glue and then dyed to resemble marble, in this instance to look like marble inlay on the top of the table. This particular technique was refined by a friar in Italy called Don Ferdinando Enrico Hugford, who's thought to have been of Irish origin. It was Hugford who taught Belloni, whose work, like that of his master, was thereafter in much demand. Hence, it seems to have taken about 5 years before Joseph Leeson received his tabletop, but he clearly regarded the weight as worthwhile, since he commissioned this stand on which it could best be displayed. But not everything that Joseph Leeson ordered in Italy necessarily reached its destination. One vessel carrying items destined for Russborough was seized by the French in the Straits of Gibraltar. The French and the British were then at war with each other, so there was no hope of retrieving the lost goods.
Perhaps that explains why Joseph Leeson returned a second time to Italy in 1750.
This time, accompanied by his son, also called Joseph. Like his father before him, he was duly painted by Pompeo Battoni, not, I think we can all agree, the most flattering of likenesses. So too was another, and rather better-looking member of the same party, Joseph Sr.'s nephew, Joseph Henry. He would include the picture among the many artworks that he bought and then divided between a townhouse in Dublin and his country estate at Straffan, County Kildare. As for Russborough, more artworks were bought or ordered on this occasion. Among them, a series of 4 oval paintings by French artist Claude-Joseph Vernet, who was then living and working in Rome. These were commissioned to hang here in the drawing room at Russborough, and in the next episode, we'll look at the plasterwork frames around the pictures and at some of the other plasterwork here in the house. I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much for watching The Irish Aesthete. Goodbye.